Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. My name is Alana and today we're going to be talking about the pages that I completed last month in my coloring books and the pages I'm planning on working on for the next month. So for last month I was solely working in these two books, this Mermaids by Jade Summer and Lost Ocean by Johanna Basford. And so let's start with that. One second. There we go. So let's start in the Lost Ocean. So for this book, we completed this page for the Beauty versus Booty hashtag by Holly Berry Coloring and Piggy Pens. I obviously did the booty section of it, booty being like pirates and stuff. So we had this page for that hashtag, and then I did a 2-page spread of just this mermaid wallpaper spread. This took me so long, but I am really happy with how it turned out. None of the mermaids look identical, and that's what I was going for. And I just love this like pop of this like limey yellowy green against the blue. I think it looks really nice. This took me like 2 weeks, maybe 3. I did the rest of them in just a couple of days. And that was everything in the Lost Ocean book by Johanna Basford. And then we have Mermaids by Jade Summer. We have quite a few pages, not quite a few, we have a couple pages in here that I completed. So I did this page and I used a color palette that I found on Pinterest, and I color matched as good as I could. And I have a couple different color palettes in like a little pouch, and I randomly drew one, and this was the color palette I chose. And so I did this page, and these little houses are like made out of ships, and then we have a mermaid and like this little lagoon, and I'm just really happy with how this page turned out. I think it looks really nice. And then jumping back to the beginning of this book, this was the last page that I completed last month, and it was this, I'm calling it the Manta Mermaids because there's this big manta up here. And I wanted to do black water and then like rainbow bubbles. And mostly the rainbow bubbles happened because my son did a little bit of coloring on this page with some marker, which is also why this is done in marker, because he started it in marker, and so I wanted to finish it in marker. But I just think that this ended up really cool. I like the black water. I think I might have to do that kind of thing again. But yeah, this was really fun to do. And that was everything we got done last month. Now for this month, we are going to be working, I have a list of 6 different pages currently that I want to do. The first one being this page right here. It is actually a peel and stick like notebook cover that I've had for well over 6 years. So we are going to finish coloring this. I started this yesterday, and then we're going to stick it to this notebook here, and I just think it'll look really nice on this notebook. And then my next page that I want to work on is in my For the Beauty of the Earth book. I am going in order in this book. So this will be the next page that I do in this book. It has a quote from the Bible in it, which if you've been on the channel before, you know I'm not huge on books that have like quotes and stuff that you have to color. It's not really my thing. But I am going to do this one, and I am going to use a color palette from this pouch. I'm going to draw a color palette. I think I've got like 3 color palettes in here. yeah, I do definitely need to get more color palettes and swatch those up, but it's a start. So I'm gonna pick a color palette and I'll color it. I should move that with my coloring books. So that is the next page that I want to do. And then we have my mandala meditation book. And I want to do the next page in this one, which is this one. And I'm kind of calling it the dragon face, because these little areas here kind of look like dragon faces to me. I don't know why, but that's just kind of what popped into my head, and I kind of like the idea, and I'm going to roll with it. I believe I'm going to be doing this one in color pencil. I have kind of planned out roughly what I want to do. I don't think I chose a palette for this one. I think it's just going to be grabbing whatever one I want. Yeah, whatever one I want. For this one, and I'm thinking I want to do like a lot of like reds and greens and yellows for this page. Then we have our next book, which is the Mosaic Patterns book. And we're just going to do the next page in this one as well. And I'm calling this one the Crystal Flowers, because these kind of patterns look like flowers to me, and they kind of look like crystals. This one is also going to be a color palette challenge, so I will choose one of the color palettes and it will be done in color pencil. So that is the Stress Less coloring. Then we have this book, a Connect the Dots coloring book that I got with a Sharpie kit like nearly 12 years ago, I think, and I haven't done it yet. As you can see, my son did a little bit of coloring in this book. But I will be using Sharpies, obviously. That's what this paper is meant for. So I will be using Sharpies to do these. And we will do one of these pages. So yeah, that is my plan for the next month. So let's go ahead and start coloring. And I am using markers on that peel and stick notebook sticker thing. So I'm just going to go ahead and grab my green marker, because that's where I left off. And this, as you can see, is almost done. I'm going to be doing green for the rest of the little decoration bits, and then we're going to do black for the rest of it. And we're doing black because that is the color of the notebook. And I think that because there is going to be some bits of the notebook showing, I think having it in black will look very nice. But I hope you guys are having an amazing day. We are certainly having a good one over here. My son is going to his grandparents' house, my in-laws' house today, and they are having a sleepover, which is super nice. So we're just gonna have the girl. We're just gonna have my daughter tonight. So that'll be a nice little relaxing break for both me and Silas. Have a little bit of time away from each other, because we are together literally all the time. And like, I love him to bits, but sometimes mama needs a little bit of space, and he's not good at space. You want to know what he's good at? Being stuck up my butt. And as much as I love my kids, I love being a mom, sometimes I need a little time to just feel like a human being. So my husband has gone to go bring him over there. Which is super nice. I am going to bring you in just a little bit while I'm doing the coloring. And that way I can kind of see where we're at time-wise. I want to go to about 20 minutes. So I've got about 10 minutes for coloring. And I'm sorry if you can hear my baby monitor. It is right here because my daughter is down for a nap. And I also have construction going on outside. So if you hear that, sorry about that too. Kind of can't control when they're doing construction. And I will say, I don't know where I got this from. I've had it for a very long time. I've had it since I was in high school. So that's actually like over 10 years old, which is crazy. I don't know where I got it. I don't know where I could find another one, but I do like it. I will say that the markers do dry down weird. It does say that you can use pencils and crayons and stuff on it. Obviously, I'm using Crayola markers. Just because I felt with the texture of the paper, they might work the best. But I do want to try to find more of these and maybe try other things on them. And you do have to be careful to not stick your hand in the wet ink because it will get everywhere. I don't know if you can see it, but I have marker on my arm from yesterday. From not waiting long enough to let it dry before like putting my arm down on it. But if you have any idea where I could find things like this, go ahead and leave it in the comments. I would love to find more of these and try other materials on them. will say, whatever like material this is, it like makes my markers like look and feel even juicier than I know they are. I was like, I've had these markers for a long time, and I've been using them in like my bullet journal and stuff. And you know, some of them I'm like, yeah, you're running out of ink a little bit, you know, but I'm like, I'm still gonna try to use them until like absolutely no ink will come out anymore. But on here, it just, it's like there's so much ink coming out still. I'm like, I know there's not that much ink left in this. Like, especially after the theme I was just doing in my bullet journal, which, you know, had like a bunch of grass and stuff. It's got horses. And you can go back and actually check that video out. I do have that uploaded on the channel, my June bullet journal. We did horses, and I have never drawn a horse a day in my life, and I feel like those horses turned out really, really nicely, and I'm very happy with them. You know, for someone who's never drawn a horse a day in their life, I feel like those horses turned out pretty good. I did have to like sketch them before, obviously with pencil, before I lined them. And I did all that process of lining them and coloring them. I did that on stream. I didn't sketch them on stream because obviously I need a photo reference, and I stream through my phone, and obviously I need my phone for a reference photo. So I sketched it beforehand, and then I would line it all and stuff on stream. And if you would like to see that, go check out my Twitch channel. My name is Alpha Snack over there. I don't know how much longer it will be Alpha Snack, but at the moment, that's what it is. Yeah. I did the whole setup process over there. And I am planning on, I believe on Saturday. Let me double check before I say anything. I am planning on doing a weekly on a short here. Nope, not next week. Not for next week. So on Saturday the 13th, I will be doing a short of doing my weekly on here with you, and so you will see the process of my lining of one of the horses. Or I think it's just some pieces of horses, but you'll get to see some of the lining process there and how I'm setting up the weeklies for June. So if you want to see that video, go ahead and subscribe and hit that notification box, and you'll see every time I post. I am trying to get better at doing like actual like posts and like polls and stuff. So we will see. I am trying to also film videos and post them here. I'm trying to go for at least 1 or 2 Animal Crossing videos a week. We have WIP Wednesday. So that will be every single week is WIP Wednesday, which is what we're doing today. We do a little bit of coloring, we do a little bit of chatting, we talk about, you know, the coloring plans, we talk about just random stuff, And it's just kind of a place for you to chill out and do whatever the heck you're doing, and, you know, and for us to chit chat in the comments. And then we have the bullet journal videos. I try to do 2 of those a month. So one at the beginning of the month for the theme for the month, and then one at the end of the month, you know, kind of going over what happened in that month and doing whatever setup we need to do, any catch up or anything. And I want to try to put a couple videos out about my crocheting stuff. I think I'm going to be putting one out at the end of the month to see where we're at for our Christmas crochet stuff, and where we're at like with wrapping and all that stuff. And so we'll talk about all of that at the end of the month. All right, I got one more little green section, and then we're gonna move on to black. Well, I guess technically I went over time. So we'll just finish the green and we'll call it for today. But if you liked just sitting and chilling and coloring with me and listening to me chat, go ahead and leave a like and a comment and press that notification button so that you can see every time I post. I post these kind of coloring videos once a week, so you will see these every Wednesday. So I hope you guys have a great day. I hope you guys have a great week. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you all next time. Bye!